Did you know castles were around on old maps since like the beginning? I'm talking the beginning, since Adam and Eve, there were castles. So that explains to me two things: why the face of the earth was fully occupied, and why you'll see buildings like this across the entire world. Because the world spread out since the ark, since before the ark, and these buildings have been around. Okay? So, what happened in history is a few things. So, in order to explain this in an entertaining way, we're going to go to Mark Twain. His real name was Samuel Clemens. And if you didn't know this, this book right here is called The Aquarium. He had a collection of teenage girls. Yes, he did. And I have a whole thing about that. And this is all about it's actual letters and correspondence that him and these little teenagers had. Yeah. His daughters weren't happy about it. Anyways, Mark Twain coined this term based off the robber barons of the time, the Gilded Age. And basically, what that means is the rich got richer and the poor got poor. And right after this time, when this takeover in the late 1800s, after all the Indian Wars and all those things, yeah, after that, when they fully take over where I live, which is the U.S., they had this they had world fairs. They had them everywhere, but they had them here too in the US. So they celebrated this great takeover because there's been a plan, I don't know if you guys know this, for a long, long time to have this thing where everybody lives as one, you know. There's songs about it and all that stuff. So the problem with that is everybody's different. And we can live as one without these guys dividing us, right? Because most of us the last several years have seen how we can get along with our family members. Most of us can get along with them. We might think they're crazy, but we can still have Thanksgiving. But with these guys, they want that to stay, and they want it to be like more and more divided. Anyways, so right after the World Fairs, I wanted to point one more thing out to y'all in this book, and that is this weird thing that was going on at these World Fairs. For some reason, there was a bunch of babies available to be adopted. Yeah. And this started happening. They started sending children across the country on these trains. So, a lot was going on in the 1800s. A lot. Now, you're going to notice that the reason this is so important is because we are entering into a new time as we speak right now. And that's why this political election was so heated, so emotional. That's why they threw every idol at y'all to get you to fall for the other side and to get mad at the people that support the big bad man. And they don't see that this big bad man was already set. He was already rich. He was already rich enough. And you know what he did? He put his whole life on the line for us morons. And some people got it all confused and think he's the Antichrist, and he's not even close to Christ. What are you guys talking about? Like, he will never be associated with Christ. The only reason he won is because Kamala went up against Jesus and told those kids that you're at the wrong rally and you don't go against the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And everyone was praying for Trump, all of us that believe God has a plan for this country. So what I truly believe, y'all, is there was these things called free electricity, free pretty much everything. We definitely not until the 1900s. We were not paying this thing called income tax. The more I think about that, the more insane it sounds. You get a bunch of people to volunteer to give them half their income, and they do the paperwork for them every year. Freaking genius government. Anyway, so that goes on at fear-based, by the way. And they start taking over everything. The buildings, the railroads, renaming, reclaiming, finding them, founding them. That's why you won't see a lot of times this was built. You'll see it was founded. So by the 1900s, this is fully done across the globe. Well, I'm going to now just play you what Donald Trump said. And you can think anything you want, but this is what I think. I think that there were cell phones, and I mean, I can find still videos from I can find everything on pictures in the Library of Congress, lights, camera, railroads, huge castles, all in the 1700s, 1800s, 1900s, before they say they were founded or invented. I don't believe that. I don't believe nothing. I don't believe that. The more I learn, the more I unlearn. I don't believe any of these people that we teach our kids about in books really invented those things. Franklin, Edison, Thomas, none of them. But you know what I think is going to happen is you're about to learn the stuff that's been taken from us, and we're not only going to see it, we're going to be inventors too, and we're not going to be bound down by a bunch of debt. And I think it's going to take people a hot minute to like accept this reality. But if you think Jesus is coming anytime soon, he's not coming for a bride like this. He's coming for a way more powerful Christian bride. A Christian who people are like, she can raise the dead because I've seen it. They can heal the blind. I've seen it. You know, how many Christians can you say that about? Just curious, because Jesus said before he comes, we will be doing greater works than him. And not once in my lifetime have I seen a Christian raise the dead. If you have, that's really cool, but I have not. I've not seen one heal the blind either. Nope. So I feel like we got a ways to go. And I feel like in order for people to actually be creators and inventors again, they have to get knowledge straight from God again, and people need to turn back to God again. And the number one book that people need to read and figure out in their whole entire lives is this one. Because once you read the Bible,
good.
3 years from now, the United States will celebrate the biggest and most important milestone in our country's history. 250 years of American independence. What a great country. And we have to keep it that way. But that's why, as a nation, we should be preparing for a most spectacular birthday party. We want to make it the best of all time. Here is my plan to give America's founding in 1776 the incredible anniversary it truly deserves. On day one, I will convene a White House task force called Salute to America 250. It will be responsible for coordinating with state and local governments to ensure not just one day of celebration, but an entire year of festivities across the nation, starting on Memorial Day 2025 and continuing through July 4th, 2026. Second, I will work with all 50 governors, Republican and Democrat alike, to create the Great American State Fair, a unique one-year exhibition featuring pavilions from all 50 states. It'll be something. The Great American State Fair will showcase the glory of every state in the Union, promote pride in our history, and put forth innovative visions for America's future. My hope is that the amazing people of Iowa will work with my administration to open up the legendary Iowa State Fairgrounds to host the Great American State Fair and welcome millions and millions of visitors from around the world to the heartland of America for this special one-time festival. Together we will build it and they will come. Third, alongside the Great American State Fair, we will host major sporting contests for high school athletes. These are great athletes, wonderful athletes from fantastic high schools all around the country. These Patriot Games will allow young Americans from every state to show off the best of American skills, sportsmanship, and competitive spirit. Fourth, I will sign an executive order to bring back our National Garden of American Heroes, which we want to build very badly, commission artists for the first 100 statues to populate this new statuary park honoring the greatest Americans of all time. Fifth, as president, I will invite the leaders and citizens of nations around the world to visit the United States in honor of our 250th anniversary. It's going to be great. America's tourist industry should get ready because we're going to have a lot of people coming. It will be a record year. And finally, and most importantly, I will ask America's great religious communities to pray for our nation and our people as we prepare for this momentous occasion. From the very beginning, America has been a country sustained and strengthened by prayer and by our communities of faith. As we chart a course toward the next 250 years, let us come together and rededicate ourselves as one nation under God. Thank you. So I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president. And to every citizen, I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day, I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have.